G'day everyone, my name's Rose. I'm a bird keeper here at Australia Zoo. Today we're going to be exploring Grace's bird garden, some of the birds that live here and some of the habitats that we've created for them. So one of our first jobs of the day is weighing a few of our parrots. We do that to keep track of their diet, make sure they're at a healthy weight, and if we do need to feed them a little bit more, that's how we adjust it and that's how we know. Good job. Coming to weigh. You're okay. 220, so that's pretty normal for Waddle, so he's at a good weight, that's what we like. Good job, sweet boy. So he's a king parrot, Australian king parrot. They're one of the only parrot species with this particular kind of sexual dimorphism in Australia. So the males are this bright red colour, and if we see his lady friend Banksy, she's a beautiful green. So we do that before he has his brekkie, and that way we can make sure that weight is consistent. After the feed out, who knows how much he would weigh. We've got a really huge range of habitats in here. We made some really deliberate design choices when we were creating the garden and what that landscape looks like. So as you walk down, you might notice that up this end where the waterfall is, it's much more dense forestry, a lot more rainforesty kind of plants. And as you move down, it gets sparser and sparser, and then towards the end, it's much more arid. And that's because we've got this wide range of species. Some have arid habitats, some have rainforest habitats, and we try to account for all of them. So as you get a bit further down towards the back of the garden where it's more arid, you have a lot more sand and a lot more sparser woodland. You find your budgies and your finches and your curlews, they all really love that area. And as you come up to your rainforest, you find your king parrots, your lorikeets, your fruit doves, like this gentleman right here. They all love this really heavily wooded area, lots of fruits, lots of colours, bright colours to hide them, a bit more of a humid area. So it's really cool, they really choose where they want to live. We just make it all available to them. So we've got Giuseppe and Gonzo, Michelangelo and Donatello. We got halfway through the Ninja Turtles and then we changed it up. They certainly have interesting characters. I would compare them more to your classic great white ibises that you see out in the wild. They've got that ibis attitude, you know, they will eat whatever they can get their hands on, and we might see a couple of the other insect eaters encroaching as we do this scatter because they do recognise what that chaos means. So these are our two Burdekin shell ducks. This is one of the species we account for by having these two gorgeous water bodies in here. So these are two wetland species. Same as our ibises, they will go looking in the water for insects and algae, plants, that kind of thing. They're what we call filter feeders. So it's really important they have a water source to be able to process their food correctly. So when we give them their feed, they have a lovely mix of kind of seed and insects and grass. And we'll always put a little bowl of water next to it. So if they do want to eat from there, they'll dip it right in the water, make a huge mess. It's one of the favourite parts of my day is watching the mess unfold. This is Waddle. So we already met Waddle. This is one of our more rainforesty species. So king parrots like Waddle in the wild, they'll live in quite heavily wooded areas with a lot of fruit and seeds in the trees available. Hi, darling boy. I'll give you an almond again so you can go on your way. This is another rainforesty bird. His name is Rowan. He's a rose-crowned fruit dove. So you'll find him also up this end of the garden and in the wild, in your rainforest, your heavily wooded areas. I know he looks like he's got really vibrant, bright colours here, but trust me, when he's up in a tree, he is so difficult to see. He just blends in beautifully. I'll show you something cool actually, if you want to come down here. So this is another one of our insect eaters, but odds are she won't be getting up for us. So this is Bella, and at the moment she's sitting on 2 eggs. So she's a bushstone curlew. So a really classic feature of bushstone curlews is they love to stay absolutely still, camouflaged in the mulch and the leaves, which you can see she's doing beautifully. And when they sit on eggs like this, they'll be absolutely stock still. So the closer you get, the more she will grumble and she'll growl and say, stay away, but she won't get up for most anything. Not even insects, as much as I do always check just in case she's hungry. That's a strong no from Bella. And Willow, her partner, also takes good care of these eggs and they swap out on a regular basis. I'll put a little bit of insects out for Billy as well. This is our noisy pitta. He's pretty new to the garden. Here we go, good boy. So usually you hear him before you see him. He likes to sit at the top of trees and sing. It's a very distinctive call. It's like a, and you hear it over and over again. Tells the whole world that he's here. That's pretty classic for the males. They tend to be a bit louder than the females. But yeah, he's doing really well. He's only been in here for a couple of months. and already he's happy to come and take insects from us like this, which is awesome. Billy is another one of those rainforest style birds. So if you go out around the Daintree, honestly, even around this area, if you've ever been to Mary Cairncross Walk, noisy pittas can be seen around there, so they're kind of a local. They like those densely wooded areas, and again, they just blend in so beautifully. There's a lot of species here where their natural habitats would overlap. You wouldn't necessarily see strong kind of, shall we say, symbiotic relationships between those two species. Often they do keep to themselves, but we do know they can coexist peacefully in the wild. So we've taken care not to choose any species that clash in that sense. A lot of these inhabit kind of northeastern areas of Australia, so you do see that large habitat overlap. I have noted occasionally that some of the wetland birds seem to be better friends than some of the flying birds. We have an ibis that has a particular affinity for one of the ducks, but I don't want to, I don't want to assume anything, but they are friends. This area is named Grace's Bird Garden. That is of course named after Grace, that's Bindy's daughter. This is one of her absolute favourite places in the zoo. It's so lovely and peaceful in here. It's honestly such a beautiful place to be here in the zoo. I really enjoy that you can get an idea of how these species might interact and might exist in the wild. I really have an affinity for seeing these wild behaviours, seeing the way that they nest, the way that they breed, and all the fledglings that come out this time of year. It's just gorgeous. It's really a lot like having a walk through a natural rainforest area, which is just so lovely. Just from walking down the main path here at the moment, if you have a look up into the tops of our trees, you'll definitely spot a few nests. It's a really great time of year to see those. So it's an awesome time to pop down here to Grace's Bird Garden, and I hope we see you here.
Watch out! Whoa, 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 whoa. Danger, danger, danger. I thought you clicked on that. Now, whatever you do, don't click on it. That's danger, remember? No clicking. No clicking.